There has been an uprising in Niger, where the second Niger president, Mohamed Bazoum, who is democratically re-elected, was ousted by his presidential guard, General Abdourahmane Tiani. His presidential guard with claims of deteriorating security and bad governance. On this note, critics and political pundits has criticized France for instigating instabilities among Aphrodisiac countries where coups have been in the order of the day. Our reporter Jennifer Macau had a conversation with Simon Githinji, a digital media editor and political analyst on matters colonial and geopolitical affairs, and compiled the following report.
On 26 July 2023, a coup d'etat occurred in Niger when the country's presidential guard detained President Mohamed Bazoum and a presidential guard commander, General Abdourahmane Tiani, proclaimed himself the leader of the new military junta.
Nigerians, my dear citizens, on Wednesday, June 26, 2023, the Defense and Security Forces of the National Council, safeguarding the homeland, CNSP, put an end to the regime of the Seventh Republic.
This was the fifth military coup d'etat since the country gained independence from France in 1960 and the first since 2010. The coup is widely condemned by the international community and the West African Regional Bloc, ECOWAS, which is currently considering military intervention in the country. Kenya has been among the countries that voiced their disapproval of the events that took place in Niamey that saw democratically elected President Bazoum deposed.
The Republic of Kenya joins the rest of the world to condemn in the strongest terms this unconstitutional act that subverts democracy through a coup d'etat and calls for the immediate release of President Mohamed Bazoum, who is reportedly seized by members of the Presidential Guard.
Economic Community of West Africa States, ECOWAS, has warned of dire consequences of the junta, with its first ultimatum elapsing on Sunday and an extension reached for more 7 days.
We will not allow coup after coup. West Africa's president. We must bite back. We can't sit like toothless bulldog and ECOWAS.
Simon Githinji is a Kenyan editor on matters of regional politics who runs a chain of digital content across various political issues affecting the continent's politics. He has faulted global powers, more so France as a colonial master who has refused to let go her grip on our colonies, thus destabilizing governments for our own vested economic interests.
It's quite interesting how the French never left Africa after colonization.
Yes.
You know, like the British, after independence, they would pack and go, leave the farms, leave the people to govern themselves.
Exactly.
But the French did not do that. In most of the colonies that they were having in Africa,
yes,
they retained the control. They retained armies in those countries. They retained financial control, and actually up to very recently, most decisions in those countries were being made in Paris. They would have to consult Paris before they borrow some loan. They would have to consult Paris before they do big projects. And so France has been a dominant player in the French colonies. And this is part of what is playing in people's minds in those countries where there are coups in West Africa, including Niger, which we are talking about. People are tired with France as a dominant colonial power that has never left them. They feel, why is France still around Niger? And so the coup leader in this country, Abdurrahman Chiani, was able to whip emotions of the people who are tired with the colonizers who are the French. And that's why he seems to have some backing of the people.
Exactly.
And he was able to oust the democratically elected president from that country. Yes. And so France has never ever left Africa, and there seems to be a push to get France to release the systems of the people so that the locals can manage their own affairs.
Niger is one of the trading partners of Nigeria, a big brother in West African countries, but ECOWAS relies on Nigeria to make a tangible decision, but so far, the decision has been long coming.
Africa in general is rich, very rich in resources. It's the only place where there are abundant resources that are not exploited. And the same case applies to those countries. But the problem is that the Western powers who need these resources to fuel their big economies will not allow Africans to benefit because they must acquire their wealth at very low prices for them to make a kill when they go and manufacture out there in Europe. And so the Western powers will cause wars. Like France has mercenaries or armies in Niger and other West African countries to make sure that these people sell to them the natural resources just for food.
The junta has closed all its entry points, and this has made it difficult for the UN aid agencies to replenish already depleting stocks. To that effect, United Nations has accused Niger's military coup in what it says disrupting humanitarian efforts, and in return, the government vows to defend itself against possible attack, warning its citizens to be prepared for challenging weeks and months ahead. As the second Sunday deadline ticks for the junta to restore democratically elected president for Niger, Mohamed Bazoum, the question remains, who are these global powers threatening the continent's stability and for whose purpose and gain? Jennifer Macau, reporting for GBS, Nairobi.